Hello, James here, M6PCG. I thought today I'll do another very quick video for you on my radio equipment I'm using at the moment. You'll have to excuse the mess, it's in a right state at the moment. It was a bit of a last minute decision to do this video. It's been something I've been meaning to do for a while and just not got around to it. It's quite dark and quite late, lighting's not all that good, but we'll see what we can do. First of all, I've got handhelds, I've got mobile units which I use as base. I've got some in the vehicles as well if you see me with the videos, and I've also got 2 metre 7 centimetres ham radio. I'm going to go through very quickly the ones I've got and just talk about them. We'll start off first of all. You're going to have to bear with me for the shoddy camera work as well. I've had handhelds for quite a few years. When I started off using radios, sort of many years ago, I used to get them from Tandy, which is the Radio Shack, the UK's equivalent to Radio Shack. I couldn't really afford them. I was only young and it wasn't really appropriate that I had them then. But the handhelds that they had, the 40-channel CBs, 2781s, they were the ones I wanted to go for. Never really got into it until a few years after that, when I sort of found other places to buy them. I never really bothered with Tandy. But since then, on eBay, I've seen quite a few radios for sale, so I've decided I'll go and buy them. I got them at a really good cheap price, and we ended up by buying them. So, to start off with, this is one of my favourites. This here is the Tandy. It's the TRC 1001. It's a 40-channel handheld, 4 watts, switchable to 0.4 of a watt, and it works really well. If I'm going to try to demonstrate it to you tonight, I don't think we're going to have much joy because there's not many people on it at the moment. It's a little bit quiet out there. But the feature-wise, it's a cracking radio. It's a 40-channel. The LED screen, obviously quite power-consuming. However, it does switch itself off. To turn it on again, you just change the channels, and it shows you what channel you're on. It goes off. Just press the side button in, and it comes on and it shows you. On the top, you've got a battery meter. Don't know whether you can see that. Okay. The usual features for handheld CBs, you've got the external power mic or external microphone socket, speaker or earphone. You've got your squelch, on and off volume, and channel selector. On the side, you've got an external antenna, charge and power. I currently have rechargeable batteries in here, and I just stick in a charger just to charge them up. But this one does actually work really well. The aerial is in really good condition. It's a really long one. It's probably about 5 foot, and I'm really pleased to say that the aerial's in immaculate condition. I took this out to use on the chase the other day, and it worked really well with some of the radios I've got in the car. So I was quite pleased with that. The microphone, it's a 5-pin DIN socket. It's one of these. Any standard microphone will work as long as it's got the 5 pins. Works really well with this microphone. In fact, I would say it's better with the microphone than using the one that's built in here. But it's a lovely radio, and I really do like this. This is one of my favourite ones. It's the biggest out of all of them, but it is one of my favourite ones. A cheaper version of this one, I would say, is the Harrier. Got no batteries in, so I can't demonstrate it. This one you'll probably see on one of my other videos. I went to do a video on the chase last summer it was, and I took with me this Harrier radio here. The reason I did the video is because I was selling them, and I'll be honest, I didn't want to sell them. I put them on eBay, advertised them, and before we got any bids I just took them off again because I was just didn't want to get rid of them. I like them too much, and I'll explain to you why shortly. I didn't want to get rid of the CB, this Harrier one up here. No batteries in, can't turn it on. Same principle. You've got the channel readout there, battery readout there, receive, transmit, and push to talk. You've also got the red button there which emits a tone. Recharge using a 12-volt socket there. External aerial. This one's been modified, and you can actually plug in earphones, headphone speakers in there. But that's a modification that's happened. Auto select channel 9, and that will turn the display on and off to save your battery power. This is a good radio. I like this one. It's basically a cheaper version of this TRC1001 that's handy one. It is a cheaper version, and it feels cheaper as well. You can tell it's a noticeable difference, but it is still a good quality radio, one that I'm not really willing to get rid of just at the moment. After the TRC1001 is the TRC1005. Excuse me. I don't know what's happened in between, but there you go. That's where we're up to. Again, it's quite a good one. It feels good and solid, and the quality for receiving is quite good. If you look at the screen, where are we? If I can do it without reflections. Power meter with the bars at the bottom, channel 19, and on full power there. You got a backlight as well by pressing the little black button in there. So exactly the same as the other one. 4 watt switchable to 0.04 of a watt for your power rating. External antenna, charge control, charge point, and power point. Handy strap. Same on the top again. You've got microphone jack and speaker, squelch volume, and channel selector. Again, really big aerial. This particular one, there seems to be a slight fault in that the microphone is really quiet. I've opened it up and I've tried to change the microphone over or to see whether there's a fault, and I just can't pick up any faults on it at all. But it really is very faint. So to use this one, I really do have to use this mic. But the quality when you use that microphone is superb. Really good. I only paid about £10 for it, so can't complain. This is the other one I've got. This is again a Tandy TRC. Not sure which one this is, so I shall undo it from its case. They're not brilliant cases, but you know, I think they just about hold it together. There we go. Looks quite similar to the 1005 one. Have we got batteries? Yes, we've got batteries in. LED screen again. It's a newer version than the 1005. Yeah, we've gone back to LED rather than LCD. Push to talk, gives a transmit button. Same features on the side, exactly the same. High and low power, antenna jack, charge and power. Top, volume, squelch, channel selector, external mic and external speaker. Again, nice big aerial, lovely condition. Quality of this one is really good. The one thing about Realistic, they have made good quality radios in my opinion. This is the TRC1007. Don't have any of their base units, not sure whether they did them, but certainly I don't think they did in Tandy, the UK version. So, going from handhelds to me base, or me mobile rigs rather, I'm going to move the camera, just bear with me. Okay, now then, I've got quite a selection up here. They're not all wired in. My favourite out of all these, for various reasons, is this Transcom GBX 4000 radio. This one, unfortunately for the moment, is not wired in, so I can't show you this one. I may do a separate review another day on these, but for the moment, just bear with me. This is a fantastic quality. It's just a 2781 UK CB radio. 40 channels, that's the lot. It's got PA and auto channel 9. The quality is really good. You've got RF gain, tone, volume and squelch, 40 channel selector there. That quality is how I remember CBs always being. And if you're picking up interference and noise and what have you, you pick it up, but the voice and the person you're talking to, you'd be able to pick up quite well, and it would just boom through. It was a really good one, and I love using it. It's got a Roger beep on the mic, which you'll see in a bit, and it just really works well. A Comtron, which I've got on the top. Let me zoom out. This one here, a bit of an issue with that one. I blew it up, I got the polarity wrong and it wasn't fused, and that caused me problems. I tried to have it repaired by some dodgy guy who basically bodged it up, and it's not working at all at the moment. Hope to get that one working again. Lovely quality sound. I do like using that one as well. To the left of me, we've got the Harrier CBX. Now this is the one that you've seen in the video. This is one of the ones I took onto the chase with me. It works really well. Again, for the same reasons, you know, it kind of cuts through a lot of the static and the hissing noise, and it gives you a good, clear, audible sound. The Beta 1100 is small and as cheap as they come. Basic channel 9, selectable, channel up and down, CB and PA. Basic microphone. It's good, it's just a simple CB, not too bad quality. Another one I got off eBay is this one here. I don't know how you pronounce that, a Chizer I think. 2781, 40 channel, good quality, nice and clear, and I actually use this one at the moment. Even though it's only 40 channel, because of the quality of it, it does help me, because if you remember I put a video on a while ago with some interference I was picking up. A lot of that problem has gone. I'll talk about that shortly. But I do pick up static where I am, and I don't think the area that I'm using is all that good, and I don't think that's really helping me. So I do need to replace that one. But for the time being, this one kind of gets me through everything that I needed to. This one isn't a CB, this is a marine radio. It's not wide in or anything, but it sort of works. I'm working on that one. The radios I've got here are two other radios that I use quite often. This is the one that I bought from you, and I don't normally do that. All the radios you've seen here today are ones that I basically bought off eBay, or had one of them was given to me from a friend from many years ago. But I do like to buy a bargain, and I do like to tinker on eBay and waste a lot of money. This is the one that I bought, and the reason behind it, it's a Midland. It's a 248 XL multi. It's got multi-bands on it, loads and loads of extra bands, as well as having the basic UK 40 and the set bands and the European bands. It's got mic gain, RF gain, squelch, various functions on the AM, FM, most of which you don't even use, but it's got it on. And I bought this because I go away quite a bit, and I wanted a radio I could keep in the car and use sort of when we go abroad, or talking to as many people as I can on different bands. It just seemed the obvious choice, and I thought because it's a new modern one it would be better. I thought because it's new and modern it would be better reception, better quality, and with it being a Midland as well, even got its own Midland microphone, better than the old miniature microphone that they used to provide, I thought I was on to a good thing. However, after saying that, I don't think it is. Just select the aerial. The quality is quite tinny. The sound on this one's very synthesised. It sounds like it's going through computers. It sounds like it's you know, being sort of digitised in a way, and I don't think it's as clear. It doesn't give you a nice, clear, bold sound like you get with one of these other ones here. We can do a quick comparison. How well it's going to work with the microphone on this camera, I don't know. However, let's give it a try. There's someone on this channel talking away.
Bloody hell.
Language there, nice.
You know, imaginary in the house. Jesus Christ, I've got the hands full.
Okay.
Let me go all in around, you've got your 2 littens, and you've got all them littens as well.
So that's the sound there. If I select this radio up here.
You put it in there. I don't know. Anyway, listen, I'll let you guys carry on for a bit. I'm going to tell you a little bit of work and whatever, so I'll catch up with you back on in about an hour.
I don't know whether you've been able to pick that up, but the sound for certainly where I'm sat on the older radios, it's certainly a lot better. Sorry you couldn't see that, could you? I was actually using this Chizer here there. That one is, I think, a much better sound. I don't like the blue screen on this one either. I think it's too dazzling, and I did have this in the car when I first bought it, and the problem with that again is that it dazzles you. The blue lights as you're driving at night are very, very dazzling. In fact, trying to zoom in now with the camera, if I can bring around, come on autofocus, kick in, struggling a bit, there we go, not very good, not good for your eyes. It's just not really very nice radio. This is the newer version to the, I think it's the 48 XL Multi, and that had orange screen, and it had a clear display there. Regrettably, I sold it. I got rid of it, and that's my biggest regret. I wish I hadn't, but I did, and I thought I'd replace it with this one. It's horrible, don't like it. So don't really like using that. Tend to use it when I talk to a distance, one of the other radios. This other one, now this is an interesting one. Let me bring you in. I'm hoping someone might be able to tell me a bit about this radio. Bring it around like that. I'll just select the aerial. I'm using one aerial for various radios and I have to switch over from one to the other. Now, what attracted me to this one was the fact that it's AM, USB, LSB and FM. Wasn't really sure what I was buying, if I'm going to be honest, and what I found is that it's not UK, it's actually an American or US import. So the frequencies aren't exactly the same. However, if you go to the a multi-radio, you've got various different settings. I've lost my focus again. What's going on here? Come on. Focus in. There we go. I think it's because I'm doing so much moving around. Or was it the bright lights that are confusing us? I don't know. But anyway, yeah, if you tune in on a multiband radio, I think it's channel selecting, I think it's either C or D or D and E, and you'll be able to pick up. It's been modified obviously because the high and low power changes the frequency mode on it. So it's an interesting radio. It's a Stalker. That's an LT microphone on it, so I don't know what that's all about. But you pick up long distance on this, and you do pick up quite a lot. Obviously, just not tonight. Come on, focus. Come on. There we go. If we try a different band. Half of the channels do cross over to UK. But channel 19 on this is the same as channel 19 on another radio, on the UK radio. Right, we're not picking anything up on USB. You've got clarifiers. Try LSB. So yeah, we've got something on FM there. So I'm not sure what channels they are, but they are on the UK channels as well. Oh, this focus is no good, is it? So that one's good to play around with. This one, extra channels, but unfortunately the quality's not as good. You probably heard a little bit of static in the background. That is because I think of the aerial that I'm using. I'm going to set up, I think, not just tonight, it's getting a bit late, but this one here, my Transcom. I'm going to get a new aerial and set that one up, and I think that's going to be my day-to-day radio that I use, purely because I do like the quality of it. Incidentally, this one's been tested. When I bought this one off eBay, I thought it actually had a fault on it. Every now and again it would go real bad interference and it wouldn't transmit properly. So I took it down to one of my local shops to have a look at, and they couldn't find any fault with it at all. They did, however, tell me that I was pumping out 6.5 watts instead of the legal 4, which would explain why I'm sort of doing so well with it. When I try to talk to contacts, people are giving me very good reports. And whenever I bought it home, connected it up, I mean, I've got quite a bit of a wiring thing going on here with various aisles in and out and the switching. And the one thing I'll say is that if you're having problems with picking up interference or weird or wonderful things happening to your radios whilst you're trying to use them, always check your power connection cables and your coaxial if you're aerial, because I've got a bit of a dodgy wire, and even just running it through a SWAR meter, it doesn't like it. And if you've got the slightest bit of bad connection or there's something not quite right, it will play up and give you really weird and wonderful sort of results. And every time I tried it here, it wouldn't work. Tried it at the shop, worked perfect. And we came to the conclusion it's down to my coax. One of my patch leads, it wasn't quite connecting properly. Any other CB, it wouldn't recognise the fault, and you just use it without knowing. This one just played up. So it's very, very sensitive, but it's a great quality radio. Fantastic report on it. Yeah, interference. I talked to you a while ago, one of my other videos, about some interference I was picking up, and I showed you the meter readout, that it was hovering and just picking up this noise. Even on amateur band, 2 meters, I'm using a Handheld in here at the moment. That's connected to an outside aerial. When I'm mobile in the car, I've got a Yaesu 7800. I use it more in the car than in here, so it's staying in the car for the moment. And anyway, this noise was getting really bad, and in the end I got Ofcom to come out to explore for me, because the noise was very, very similar to this PLT noise that you pick up. So, you know, from power lines. So Ofcom came out and they said to me before they came, says, have you checked all your plugs? Have you checked your mains? Have you disconnected it from the house? Because if you've got low energy saving bulbs, they can give you interference. If you've got plasma TV screens, they can give interference. Fridges, freezers, all these things can give interference. But in this workshop, I've got an extension lead going to the house. What I did was I disconnected that extension lead from the house, and I've got some batteries that I use in here, which power a DC to AC inverter, which gives me the 240 volts from a computer and everything else in here. So my argument was, well, yes, I've disconnected from the mains and there's no issues. The interference is still there, there's no difference at all. So they actually came out, and they came out with all the technical computers and these little handheld radar devices. And they were scanning in here in the workshop and said, yeah, we're definitely picking something up. We don't think it's PLT, but it's very, very similar. They went outside into the garden to try and pinpoint the problem, and as the young lady got this little handheld device and sort of pointed in all directions, the interference seemed to be coming from the shed. They came to the patio, and it went straight down to the bottom of the garden to where the shed is, and said, that's funny, that's where your interference is. I said, well, it can't be, because I've tried everything, I've disconnected from the mains and it's still there. She came in, and I've got a bank of sockets on the wall, and she highlighted that one particular plug was giving off the noise, and it turns out that was my variable heat controlled soldering iron. And as soon as she unplugged the soldering iron from the mains, the problem went and the interference stopped. So that was very, very embarrassing. After me explaining that the problem wasn't me and the problem wasn't any of my equipment, it transpires that it was the soldering iron. And they said, well, you know, you did tell us before we came out that you tried turning all the mains off. And as I explained, I said, well, yes, the mains have been turned off. However, because the battery powers the inverter, which powers everything in the shed when we've got power cuts or whatever, you know, obviously that was powering up. So I just assumed it was interference from the house, and it wasn't. So, you know, when you do get these mad bits of interference and stuff, always check your power leads, make sure you've got good earthing, good grounding, and you know, you really do have to eliminate things one by one. And it's not a quick process, it's not always that easy, but it's the only thing you can do. So it's well worth spending a bit of time, you know, getting these things right and just playing with them. So that was the story with that one. The Wuxen. We'll zoom in a little bit. There we go. Great little handheld. I bought this off eBay. It came directly from China. It's dual band, 2 meters, 70 centimeters. It's quite good quality. To hold, it feels a bit cheap. And if you compare this against the other ones, like the Asus, for instance, this does feel quite cheap, but it works well, and you can't fault the operation of it. The only thing I'm not that keen on is the programming of it. Now, the programming of this radio to try and type in your memories and to save them, especially for repeater work, is an absolute blooming nightmare. And I've had a lot of issues, and I can't seem to get it to store all the information in the right place. And every time you reset it, or you change to a different frequency, or change the frequency for the CT/CWS codes, it changes everything. So if you've got any experience with the Wuxon and you'd like to explain to me how you can do it, I'll be very, very grateful. But apart from that, for what I use it for in here, really, really good. I've got a separate microphone stroke speaker for it. It sits in its charge, it's unplugged at the moment, just connected to the outside aerial. That's a good bit of kit. If I just show you these as well, handheld radios I've got a bit of a liking for, to be honest. You probably noticed, but if I show you, let me move the camera around. I've actually got 2 of the Wuxons. They're great for sort of just mobile communications, really, from sort of car to car, point to point. Really, really good. I also got these little handhelds. Left that one turned on, so that's flat. These are not dual band, these are single band, and they're just 70 centimetre radios, and they work really, really well on PMR channels. There's quite a few PMR frequencies that you are now allowed to use. It's not just the 446, there's also a lot on 449 megahertz, which allow you to use the full 5 watts power anyway. So these are fully legal to use. If you're going to use ham bands, ham frequencies, obviously you need to be qualified, you need the appropriate licence for it. Which I do have anyway. So, you know, again, these are great. Again, for sort of car to car, if you're doing on PMR, if you're out mobile walking or whatever, and just for general use, they're great little 2-way radios. I have used them on some local ham frequencies, 7 centimetres, and they work well. I'm really pleased. The aerials aren't amazing; they're quite cheap, but what do you expect? But you can connect those to outside aerials, car aerials and everything else. You've got the appropriate adapters, and they work just as well. Nice 4 watts. It is switchable to lower, I think 0.4 watts it goes down to, or 1 watt, I'm not really sure, but they're good. These radios in the background, I've got these from the States. I went over to the States a few years ago. They're like PMR radios, same sort of idea, but the frequencies are different. And these are actually on GMRS and FRS, which are the family radio. I don't know what FRS stands for. Is it Family Radio Service or something? And that frequency range is from 462 megahertz up to 467. Is it? Yeah, 467, 725 megahertz. So not legal to use over here. Range-wise, a little bit better than the PR 446 that we're allowed to use. I have tried them out. Albeit not as strictly as legal as it could be. Motorola, again, thinking it was a good make, but they're not really that good. The quality of the sound's a little bit raspy, but still I've got them. Binatone Terrain, these little handheld radios, modified this one just for demonstration purposes. I don't use it. You're not allowed to have an external aerial or separate aerial, it's got to use the built-in one. But I was trying out various different things just for receiving on, so I only receive on this one. It gives me better options because I've connected a little BNC adapter on the top there, and that's great for receiving on. Transmitting, obviously, only use the proper radios that you buy from the shops. And that's it, really. That's a little bit of an overview of my radio selection I've got. All work well. CBs, yeah, you do get quite a few prats on CB radio. It's not the best, but you know, it's just a bit of fun at the end of the day, isn't it? When I go camping, we often go, sort of quite a few of us in cars, and about 3 or 4 cars at a time sometimes. And CB is great just for sticking in the cars. You plug it into the cigar lighter adapter for your power, mag mounts, which I've got a few of, to go into the roofs, and then you get good communications for the vehicles. It's good enough for what we use for. And if you do come across some idiots, then you soon get out of range of them, and as you're driving through Wales and Scotland and everywhere else, you know, you pretty much got the airways to yourself. So I would never knock CB. It's great for what it is, and it is just what it is. Ideally would use ham radio. However, none of my immediate family or friends are qualified, so they're not licensed to use them. That would be better because of the extra power, and the equipment's better quality anyway. But for what we use, it's okay. Right, well, that's pretty much it. I'm going to call it today, get this stuff packed in, and see what I can do with editing this tape out. So if you've got any questions or any comments, in particular any comments about the Wuxen handhelds, if you've got any advice on programming, I'll be very grateful to hear your thoughts on that one. Also, your opinions on the new modern CBs. In particular, kind of these Midlands. They're supposed to be good. I mean, I think it's about £130 to buy new, and it's the quality. I'm just quite disappointed, to be honest. It's just a shame you can't get a good quality radio, which has got all the features on that I use, like the multibands. But unfortunately, that's what you get, I suppose. So, anyway, that's it. Thank you for watching. Thanks for joining me tonight. I'll probably waffled on a little bit, but just wanted to do an overview. I will try and do a proper video sometime of me using these radios, and you can see yourselves the quality of the range that I'm getting. But for the moment, this is what I can do. So thanks for watching, and we'll speak to you soon. Bye bye for now.